So now that we have our carbon fiber elbow put in, next step is going to be replacing the air filter and then getting rid of the piping that goes in front of the air box, which is causing a restriction. So installing this air filter is about as easy as it's going to get. You just undo the 6 clips that hold the air box in, pull the old one out, put the new one in, and then we can pull the front bumper and start working on that intake pipe that's causing our last restriction. One of the biggest mistakes people constantly make is they replace things like their exhaust and expect to make power. You still have the caps and the headers and everything else in front of that the air has to go through before it gets to the exhaust. So you're going to help it a little bit. You got to start at step 1. And step 1 on these cars enters right here behind the front bumper. So what we're going to do is we're going to change all that out. Just get rid of all this because it's not good for flow. Not going to get a lot of velocity out of the air, and we're just going to replace this with a velocity stack that's going to sit down below the headlight. We're going to have air coming in. We're going to get rid of this little square here. Air will come through here into this area in front of the wheel well liner, but behind the bumper, go through a velocity stack, through our new air filter, through this velocity stack, MAF, carbon tube, and then into the engine. While this isn't going to completely transform the car, it's going to make it more efficient. Drivability, throttle response, all of that should be improved, and we should make a little bit more power with it. It won't be quite as refined as it was before, but that's not what I use the car for. It's a fun daily driver. I don't want a boring old man car. So here is our old air filter. It's just a normal Fram paper filter, and here is our new filter from K&N. You can see it's a lot thinner. It's got the classic red cotton. So it is reusable, it's washable. This one's definitely old, dirty, it's seen better days. We're gonna toss this one in the bin. And this one just drops in and we're done. I did go ahead and add the provided sticker inside the airbox, just letting the future owner that it is a reusable filter. It's interesting to note that this fits a lot tighter than the other one did, so it's a little bit more difficult to get this on. So we should have a really good seal all the way around, not going to have anything leak by. Some people complain that these don't filter quite as well as the stock filters do. I have no reason to doubt K&N. I have a Spectre filter, which is not as nice a brand, and that's on my 350Z. It's been there for 5 years, and I haven't had a single issue with the MAF getting clogged up or anything like that, so I don't see why this should cause a problem. K&N is a great company. I have the utmost confidence in them. I think this is going to give us just a little bit extra flow. So I've got the bumper off of the car, and you can see that pipe coming across the passenger side of the car. It tucks out from under the air box and goes over to that little bumper vent area. So the air is going to have to make a 180-degree turn to get into that pipe. Then it's going to have to instantly make a 90-degree turn towards the passenger side of a car, have to wrap around that small little bumper support and shrink down to a ridiculously small pipe diameter, then work its way all the way over to the air box, making another larger 180 and 90-degree turn. It's just too complicated. It's not a good design. I'm sure it has something to do with quieting down the intake noise to make it a little bit more sophisticated, but as I've already stated, that's not what we're going for with this car. This is a fun daily driver, so we're going to remove that and get a little bit of better airflow to our airbox. As you can see, the first 30% of this pipe is just awful. This really tight bend right here, all of this crimps down really tightly. At its smallest point, it's less than 3 inches in diameter, which is just awful. Coming up all the way to the regular size of almost 4 inches in diameter. To give you an idea of just how big a deal that is, this inner circle is what that small pipe looks like, and it's not even round, so it's even worse. But 3 inches in diameter is that small circle, and almost 4 is that larger circle. It's like 3 3/4. That's 62% of the larger volume. That is so much smaller. You're losing so much flow. It's changing directions so many times. It's just not a good design for flow. The only excuse I can come up with is luxury. That is the only possible reason they could have such an awful design. But because there's a device in the way of our velocity stack idea, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the pipe off here, get rid of all of this crap, and just have this pipe, which is going to be facing down towards our bumper vent. This is the driver side vent. It's all open. The passenger side vent, for some reason, has it blocked off. So I'm just going to make this vent look like our driver's side vent. We'll put that in, we'll have direct airflow going right into the front of this. The engine will just be able to suck all that air in. We won't have a ram air effect and we won't have the same velocity stack, but we can always go back and add the velocity stack in later. I just want to see how this fits up for now, and we'll go from there. Here you can see that device I was talking about. Originally I wanted the pipe to come right here, have a velocity stack here, and have it maybe pull air from under the bumper down here, or through our vent over here. I'm sure this has something to do with emissions. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm not going to remove it. So the pipe for now is going to come down to over here, and then we'll have all of our air tumbling in up here from the bumper vent, so it should be fine. It'll still be better than what we had. Well, I got the panels cut. It was super easy. I mean, all you need is a sharp razor blade on a box cutter. Easy to make a match and make a clean cut. BMW might sell this part, I'm not sure. Maybe on a European model or something is flipped. You can get the opening for the opposite side, but this worked out perfectly. No one is ever going to notice. So all we have to do is go throw these on the car, install the bumper back up the way it's supposed to be, and we will have new airflow to a better flowing intake. So you can see now our intake now starts right under the passenger side headlight. It's got that nice big 3 3/4 inch tube coming into the airbox. We'll have all that air coming in through the vent right in this area down here. So everything should be dramatically better than having to come all the way over here, making all those 90 and 180 degree turns. And the fact that it's not going to have this little 3-inch pinch right here. So it should be dramatically better. So between that, the K&N air filter, and the carbon fiber elbow, everything should be a lot better. We should get a lot more flow through our intake. And really that's it. That's all the power mods I'm going to do to the car. Eventually down the line, if I've got the money for it, I'll do some sort of tune on the car just to raise the red line a little bit. But for now, this is it. A little bit of intake work before the throttle body, a little bit of exhaust work on the back half, but unfortunately, this car, it's just not worth it to go ahead and put headers on and change out the cats and put a new intake manifold on and a new throttle body and then maybe some cams. It's a slippery slope that I don't want to get into, but it should be an easy way to improve the car. The electric fan's going to take a little bit of drag off the engine. It should be a lot better vehicle overall. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next week.